Purpose, driven, hustle. It's the 30th of May, and I'm going to hit you with some Epictetus.
I'm prepared.
I can't call someone a hard worker just because I hear they read and write, even if they stay up all night doing it. Until I know what they're working toward, I can't call them industrious. But I can if their goal is to align with their own values, keeping them in harmony with nature. So the thing I'm going to throw to you from reading this is busy is a badge of honor.
Oh, yes.
Where do you see this best with salespeople?
Oh, mate, I've heard this. Can I call you mate?
You call me Mick if you want.
Mick. A million times I've seen this in my life. I've always had the boss that's got the spreadsheet open doing all this sort of stuff, scratching their head and like, the spreadsheet's going to make something magical happen. And my wife coined this cool phrase, which is busy, not productive. Like the ability to actually separate those two things out in your head. I don't know if it's like a generational thing. I think maybe the generation just before us, and certainly like our parents' generation, maybe not your dad, but have got this thing with how can I look as busy as possible? How can I look just like, look how busy I am, and almost like going in like, been busy, busy. You never hear people going like, been busy. No, not really.
Yeah.
I literally just steady, actually just have like a good quality of life. All right. Or like you're leaving a meeting, you're packing your laptop up and you're like, you got much on for the rest of the day? Yeah, not got much on. Yeah, loads of stuff. Everyone's got to always let you know like how busy they are, haven't they? And I wonder why. And I imagine it's because it's ingrained, isn't it, through generations of your worth is attached to that.
Your work.
Your worth is attached to your work. Nice. We worked on that together. We came to that together, didn't we?
Yeah.
Symbiosis. Mm-hmm. Where does your brain go with it?
I've found it as well, and I've been guilty of this in the early days of feeling like...
It was acquitted. You were acquitted of that.
What, sorry?
That thing that you were guilty of, it was acquitted.
I was guilty of this in the early days. But I think that hustle culture, purpose-driven hustle, but like you feel like... I sometimes feel guilty because we run a business together, and actually, I don't work Saturdays. And I actually get home at about 6 or half 6.
Must be nice.
Yeah, it must be nice. And I actually don't do loads of work. Like
You're telling me.
But like you don't have to be working till midnight. And I'm sure that there are some businesses, and I'm sure that there are some stages of the business where we have done that. But I always felt like I had to be doing something. And actually, sometimes you do more by being productive in the time that you have rather than pushing yourself to the limit.
Well, how much of that I used to have to slow you down at the start? And you'd be sending me stuff on the weekend, and I'd be like, mate, can you just have a bit of time off? Because I'm well aware, and it's happened to us both, hasn't it, where you get that ends somewhere, that stops somewhere. It usually probably stops like you're a bit ill.
Yeah, well, we were laughing about it yesterday because I said, I've just bought a new alarm clock, and I said, and I found one that I really liked. It was 250 quid. And actually, 4 years ago, I invented something called the Manifestation Station.
Put their Instagram handle in the comments.
And basically, it was an alarm clock, but also you could listen to it to meditate and manifest. And it's already a thing. It doesn't matter, whatever. But when we started the business in the January, I was also talking to manufacturers in China trying to get this other business off the ground, because that's where my brain was. And I've actually learned so much over the last few years of removing that like shiny object syndrome. I have ideas every single day, but I'll take them, I'll write them down, I'll put them somewhere, and maybe one day in the future I'll come back to them. But the good ones stick, and the good ones are like it comes back to my like North Star. Does this move the boat faster for what we're trying to achieve? We're trying to become a reliable agency. We're trying to become the best agency. We're trying to become figureheads. We're trying to make sales ethical again. Does this help?
Yeah.
If it does, then yeah, cool. If it's on the mission, but it's not another side project. It's like the podcast, the newsletter, the sales, the book, all these things. They aren't like side hustles. They're things that feed into the main businesses that help. And that's probably the difference.
Do you think that's where you've made the biggest change with that stuff? Getting it all to be part of one thing?
Just making sure, just asking myself the question of like, why am I doing this? Like if I'm going to go off on a tangent and want to start a cold coffee company, and I start looking up...
Is that what's coming?
no, that's already been and gone. I put that on the shelf.
Did you?
Yeah, because I just thought, I was like, that's something in America that's sick. I remember we were watching Bank of Dave.
Drinking your cold coffee, wondering like, where have I got the idea for this from?
Yeah.
This genius idea, not
But
realising.
in the UK, it's not really a thing.
Of course it is.
Yeah, but it's not really a thing. Like, if you go to America, hopefully one day you'll go to America, there's a whole fridge full of cold coffee.
They have fridges in America.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Anyway, but I spend an hour, I entertain the idea because it's quite fun, but then I park it. I call it like a weekend. Yeah, mate, I get it. It's called weekend fun. Anyway, that's purpose-driven hustle. Do something you love. Be stoic about it. I've been Jack Frimson.
I'm Zach Thompson.
Remember, you will die.
Hustle, traffic,